degree and a bachelor's degree in science, so quite involved in research. I like going deep into research and figuring out the details of things. I'm very meticulous when it comes to finding things out. A good question that I got in the chat is why Moonly? So one day I was kind of going around different projects and I realized that I had over 600 tabs on my computer open. So over a few different browsers, I had over 600 tabs just dedicated to NFT projects, and that is all I was looking at. I was wondering why my computer was going slow, and then I realized that I've got hundreds of tabs open. It got to a point where it was untenable, so I was getting kind of fed up, and I said, well, okay, I'll close a bunch of windows. And unfortunately for me, I ended up missing quite a few really good projects on Ethereum because that was the time that I was closing all these projects around. Didn't get to mint them because I missed out on them because I closed them all. I got fed up and started tracking a few different projects that I was trying to take an interest in. That's where my need for narratives kind of started in the NFT space, I guess you could say. And it carried on for a little while until I came across Moonly's website, which allows me to track loads of things at once. And yeah, I've been using Moonly ever since. I believe Moonly solved the real problem for me by putting all of the solutions to my problems in one place. I can see all the mint times, I can see floor prices and everything else. Me and Stefan actually got in contact over one of the articles that I wrote for Moonly. I can't remember when that was exactly. It was a while ago. And we've been chatting ever since. And that's basically why I'm here today.
Can I
So
add
what
up?
is it that I actually want to do? Yeah, please.
Because you were mentioning how we meet up, I cannot remember exactly, but I think I saw your article, and I'm not sure if you reached me or I reached you. I cannot be sure, but I remember when I saw your article, I like it. I saw some article about other project, and maybe inside you mentioned the Moonly, because use a statistic, and then we talk about you wanted to create article about Moonly, and when you crafted that article, I felt that you were kind of part of the core team, that like the things that only we know. Somehow that's how I had a feeling that you did really good research, and that is the moment when I really liked you. And after that, we I think actually maybe even the same day, same night, we started chatting. I said, let's get into call, and short call, and I need to go to sleep, and then we ended up in 4 hours call, I remember.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I remember that.
yes, so it was a really
It wasn't a
good call.
short call, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
uh, all right, so sorry, I want you can continue, but I just want to add up that.
No, 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 not a problem at all. Essentially, what I'm here to do is spread the word of Moonly to. As you can see, I don't mind chatting. I'm quite good at talking. I have no problem sitting here having a conversation for a few hours if need be about certain things, and I'm quite analytical. I like to dive deep into things, as I said earlier. So, very much want to spread the word of Moonly out there and allow people to understand that it's something they're missing. It solved a problem for me, and I think it's going to solve a problem for a lot of other people. So, I want to do a lot of other AMAs and spread the word around to other projects and potentially get into some partnerships with some projects to have a little bit of a chat. And that's essentially me in a nutshell. It's a little bit of my journey from the start of my Web3 journey to now, how I ended up on the team with Moonly. So I am open to any questions, and that's essentially what I wanted to say. Now I can see the chat is lighting up a little bit, so I'm going to see if there's any questions in here. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. It's actually quite busy in here.
Meanwhile, while you're searching for a question, or I remember that you said Moonly saves me a lot of RAM. That you actually mentioned that you don't need to open many tabs because a lot of information is there, and we sh- we should thanks to our bots, the scrapers, actually to our developers for that, and also to Little Feather and to his crew that they're manually curating those stuff. So for some of the people over here, they're not interested in some information. Um, they instantly trade what is what is told on the Twitter, but there's a people like Kai who do research. So when you have a page where you have a lot of information, all the links and information, it's pretty useful. That's why actually we made it like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's, one of the big things that I like about Moonly, especially during the earlier days, is that it gave me information that I couldn't find other places. And it did save me from a couple of rugs. I still got caught out by rugs. Everyone's been caught out. And anyone here who hasn't been rugged before hasn't really been in the NFT space, to be honest. I'm sure everyone here has been rugged, but it has saved me a lot more than I would otherwise have had access to. So it's just a set. It's one example of why the tools are so useful. Let's put it that way. To me, the tools are genuinely useful. I use them all the time. I actually have it on my mobile, so I use it quite a lot on my mobile phone when I'm out. And I just think people need to know more about it.
Yeah,
Essentially, what I've got to say about it.
yeah. I noticed since we started adding. I hope you don't mind me jumping
No, of course
into
not. Please.
conversation. I I noticed since we did some rapid development thing. You added some things without a proper planning because we're in the rush to deliver a lot of things. And I noticed recently, and I also got feedback from a couple people when you mentioned the mobile, that some things are not quite well there added. Since we added the section with with the Moonly blog, it's going now at the top. So some crucial information from the project went to the bottom. So if you're aware of that, guys, it's gonna be fixed. We just have a little bit more important stuff to release now that require attention, and those small things will be done uh, in the near future.
Sounds good.
I also
Okay,
want.
I've got a couple of questions. Oh,
All
wait,
right.
no, no, I'll let you go. No, 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 go for it, go for it.
I also okay. I just want to add this. When you mentioned that it's that some information you couldn't find again, it's a great work of Little Feather and his crew. We have four virtual assistants that go manually curating and constantly checking if the upcoming projects have correct information. Of course they cannot be 100% curated and correct because even the project itself they change this information, but what they do, they go into the discords and they ask questions: what is the mint price, what was the supply, even the project was minted 1 year ago, and I notice or someone from the community notice, because that's the useful information for someone. Remember, we have the quite solid amount uh, of traffic from Google, and people actually search for those keywords. When was the gods minted? What was the gods mint price? And so on. And if they get valuable information, they will remember Moonly as a valuable source of information and come back later on, or even share, or even bookmark. So that's what I wanted to share.
I agree. And building on that, if you
Yeah.
can put more and more of your resources into getting more and more things in one place, as you should be doing anyway, which is what Moonly kind of is about, aggregating solutions to the common problems of research tools and having all your analytics in one place, then you're going to be cornering the market quite quickly. And this is kind of my sentiment. This is the reason I was drawn to Moonly in the first place.
Yeah, and that's why we are adding now Ethereum collections. Yes, we are Solana community, but the future is a blockchain. Even before those DeGods and other collections started moving in there, even we had these upcoming projects for other blockchains, but now we're gonna add even market statistics, and what that's gonna give us? It's gonna give us more exposure. Um, into Google to other people to be aware there is a Moonly, and maybe they dive into the Solana as well because there are a lot of people cross chain. So yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
I agree.
you can answer the questions. I think there's some questions out there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to get to those now. I think Hang Jack has a question. He says, "What is your opinion on getting proper news in the Web3 space?" As a writer, I'm curious what your opinion is. It's a good question, actually. News itself in Web3, especially when it's related to NFTs, because I don't know if that's kind of long and short of your question. Web3 news is quite good. we've got quite a few news articles and news outlets for Web3 news at the moment. I know DGen News is one of the big ones that's NFT project. Shout out to them. Pretty good. They get quite a lot of headlines, but some of the times they say things that are kind of just, what's the word? Conspicuous for the sake of being conspicuous, just to get attention. But they're doing NFT news right. They're doing Web3 space news right as well. But in regards to actually getting proper news in the Web3 space, it's difficult because the space is so changing. It changes so rapidly that you essentially have to have multiple sources of information coming in at once and then putting them all together. And then everyone has their biases when it comes to news, so you've got to format it in a way that has no bias. And everyone knows that news has a bias, so it's difficult to actually formulate real news, proper news in Web3, especially as a writer as well, because it's very difficult to write without a bias. Let's put it that way. Very difficult. So I hope that answers your question, at least in some respect. Next question from PP. How do you use the tools? Watch list and then see listed volume. What interests you the most? Actually, one of the things that's drawn me into it is something that many people talk about on Moonly, which is the social media stats. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's lots of social media stats that are actually taken into consideration, like Discord engagement, Twitter engagement. Those kinds of pieces of information are really useful. You can even tell, or you can kind of attribute some of the information that you get to potentially botted activity or overinflated interaction is what I want to say. That's one of the things that I tend to use quite a bit, actually. I like the floor price tracking as well, and the recent addition of the live listings, so you can see a lot of things that are being sold. But that's something that I actually quite like, is seeing social media interest in projects. So I hope that answers your question.
Can I ask one question?
Please.
What is missing on Moonly that you think will be a good addition?
That's a good question. You're putting me on the spot here a little bit, Stefan. I've been giving a few ideas. I think there's a few things that I could think about. Ideas, I tend to just write them down. My brain, a weird little thing about me, a quirk about me, is that my brain doesn't work until I can start writing things down. So if I get an idea in my, I have to write it down, otherwise I won't stop thinking about it.
All right, then when you're done with a call, you can write up in the suggestion and ideas. You probably have something.
Uh, One thing that we discussed this before. I don't know if actually no, I don't think this is a problem to talk about. One thing that I did mention a while ago is rug audit. So finding projects that are rugged,
Oh,
kind of the signs and symptoms of what they would do it before they rugged and how you can avoid them.
mhm.
And that's something that Moonly could actually corner the market on because, again, probably 95% of projects in the space are rugs. So if you could find a way to kinds of pieces of information, get some of those projects in people's minds, get them able to identify some of the common signs and symptoms of rugs, you're essentially helping the greater space. And that's not just for Solana, that's every space, every NFT space. So that's something I was thinking about. And we've discussed this before, I believe, in the past.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, and we have this functionality where you can mark the project as an administrator. We can mark a project as a rug or even as a red flag because it's a upcoming project. So it's still not a rug, but it's a red flag, and it's
Yeah.
gonna display a red flag. But the thing is, uh, there is no one who actually put enough time into researching each of that project to know if he can make decision. For example, Little Feather, is it rug? I think that what will be great, that community can vote on that. And I had this in mind for a long time, that we kind of create ability for people to vote on the projects or either express their opinion leave a feedback or comment rating. So
Mm.
maybe something like, if he's a holder, since we can detect if he's a holder of a certain collection, we can say, okay, this is a holder review, so it's not someone who come to FUD, right? But then there can be a section for non-holder review, people to express. Currently, as we are in the bear market, of course the traffic dropped a lot. You can see that from the Google trend. If you just go into Google trend and type NFT, you will see that yourself. So it's not too much active like it was before, but still, 1,800 to 1,000 people visit Moonly every day. It's 1,000 people. It's not little. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not trivial. I
yeah.
agree. But yeah, Hang Jack, if you want to send me a message or drop me a DM, send me a message on Discord or on Twitter if you've got anything you want to share with me. Anyone has got any more questions, anyone who wants to come up, feel free.
Yeah,
Don't bite. I mean,
feel
I don't know about Stefan. I don't know how hungry Stefan is, but I've been fed, so
um,
I'm not gonna bite.
I want to remind people maybe who joined that there is at the top right there is a chat, so you can ask questions. It will open the chat tab, so for this specific channel, so you can ask question there for the new people, or you can request to speak. So feel free if you wanna speak. Let me just see. Hossein said, Kindirai, first I heard about Moonly was at seminar about NFT, and from that time, I'm using Moonly like daily. That's very nice feedback to hear. I'm wondering what seminar was that about NFT, and they were mentioning Moonly. I mean, that's the best thing you can get. One of the best things, when people measure the stuff you're working on, that people tell that they get value from it. That's the kind of things that give you a goosebumps. You know.
Hmm. Okay, I do have a question for my audience. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. So I got a question for you guys. What is it that you actually would like to see in terms of spaces? What kind of projects would you like to see on spaces? I want to see what feedback is. What kind of projects would you like interaction with? What kind of people would you like to be introduced to Moonly? What kind of people do you think would be a good fit for Moonly for Twitter Spaces? Have a little look and see what people type.
Yeah.
Uh, where am I? There we go. Cool. Quite a few people are typing. So 18 hours. You've been awake for 18 hours, Stefan.
Yeah, 18 and 30 minutes actually. I think I calculated correct because I woke up at 11 p.m. yesterday. So, yeah.
Might need to start taking some melatonin, my friend.
Yeah, true.
Melatonin supplements.
I don't do the supplements, but thanks. I got a dinner right now from the Plavocat. How you doing this? You're in the chat and you're here with me. I mean, are you teleporting or what? Okay, thank you.
Forget about people in influence at all time talking about rights. I agree. I kind of want to get into conversations with people or projects that are already established. Other builders is what I'm thinking about. Other projects that are already building and things that would be very well aligned with Moonly. But that could essentially be anything, if I'm honest.
Zurkov had a good suggestion.
Maybe some of the X5 projects, SharkFi, Wolf Capital, etc. Yeah, I agree, definitely. I was thinking SharkFi actually before anyone said that out loud. So I definitely agree with that.
Hello,
Might have
guys,
some.
and good night.
Hello there.
Hello, hello, hello.
That was very short.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
Uh, Corsica asks, do I have some relations in the space people we could bring to Twitter Spaces? I've maybe got a couple because I'm not a community manager by trade. I don't know very many, but I'm also not very shy when it comes to talking to other projects. I have no problem talking to projects and project founders at all. I believe that if you want to know the true source of a project and if it works, you talk to their founders. And then if you want to know how the project actually functions, you talk to the community. So I don't know very many people outright, but it doesn't mean that I won't reach out. I'm happy to reach out to projects. Point me a direction, and
I
I will
I'm gonna give some
go.
suggestions. I have idea. So I actually talk with couple of people today about Twitter Spaces, and I plan to also ask Kaimana guys. Did I say correctly? Kaimana, I think. And those that project actually, I'm in the direct chat with them. They're planning to use our staking tool,
Oh,
so they're gonna be probably our first customer client. So unless something changed, but we are in the chat for month and half, and they're asking me about the progress about staking. They're gonna mint in, I think, April 8th or something like that. So
very
there's a
nice.
basically 2 or 3 weeks until then, so we can invite them to learn about the project. The project owner, I think it's a call it Nick, is a really good person. I talk with him, and his co-founder, it's a girl, can't recall the name, but anyway, they're really nice person. I was watching them. They're kind of their dogs. They also create meetups, real meetups, in the New Zealand, and I
Oh, very
think
nice.
there will be a good start, as for Twitter Spaces,
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
because that could kind of, I mean, I think we definitely we should do this earlier, long time ago,
Mhm.
especially when we had momentum and hype. We didn't, but we can actually start doing now, for with the coming project, so we can offer that as a whole package. All right, guys, you want to do you want to become our client's customer? We have those tools for you, all in one package. You can get feature, you can get listed on Moonly, you can get also featured on Moonly, you can get pushed by our Twitter and Discord community, you can become our Twitter Space guest and get some exposure, and people can learn about your product, and you can also get access to our tools. And we have this tool, token creations, staking as a service. You can create this in minutes if you have your economics already in advance defined. Then we have this Discord verification tool, sales bot, and couple more things. We're gonna also, what we're gonna do. I'm not sure if people are aware that, but we need to pivot pretty. We need to be flexible. We need to pivot pretty quickly. So the thing is, how this Moonly started, we planned to lock down a lot of features, but you then you see there's a bunch of tools that provide similar feature, and then there is no sense to lock something that there is a for free on another place, right? And my
Mhm.
original idea was give it for free, provide the value in advance, and people will appreciate. Even our floor price is kind of shit. We definitely provided a value to ton of people because Moonly had 600,000 unique visitors in the period of 1 year or so. 600,000 people visited Moonly. I mean, it's a lot of value. They found some information out there, definitely. So, idea is that we got reached by many communities asking, "Hey, can we get Moonly tools to our holders?" And I didn't see how that can work at the beginning, but then it's open to my mind. We talk with Corsica and the GMers. They're asking to get access. What we can do? Well, go and buy 25 or 30 Moonlies and stake it, lock it down. stake it, and your holders can get access to the Moonly uh, basic tools, or those tools that we are kind of locking down. There's not too many. I think I'm talking about trader tools, not founder tools, and that basically will increase the demand for NFTs, increase the floor price, and so on. And people will actually start using more Moonly, which is a good, which will basically they can become our holders and traders. So I think that is one of the way to go there. That is a good thing, actually. And by the way,
Ooh.
sorry, I know this is your space, Kai, and I feel like
No, no,
talking,
no, not
but
at
I just
all.
wanted, because I had this kind of momentum, to share this. Um, and for example, of course, I think, I mean, I'm not need to see how to define this programmatically. But for example, let's say their floor price is, I don't know, zero point 0.2. Well, your holders will need to hold 5 of NFTs, of your NFTs, in order to get that. So it will be stimulation for that community, and also to align with our kind of floor price or something like that. But yeah, I think that can be a good thing.
That's some serious alpha there, Stefan.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
Glad you like it.
I don't think people were ready for that, to be honest.
I mean,
If
people.
anyone caught on to that, then they're going to realize, because that's going to be my final question. Actually, I'll have that in a little bit, but
All
we're still
right,
talking here.
all
So,
right. I'll
yeah,
then
please.
stop talking. I'll then stop talking.
No,
You
no, no, no. Please, if
you
you've
can
got more to
navigate.
share, we'd
They,
love to hear it
they're
because everyone
definitely
here
they're
is.
definitely more to share. I want to save some things for Twitter Space as well. I don't mind to repeat, of course, but there we should have more people out there. But let's see what's Zurko say. Oh, I like that Kinder tier founding. Yes, even that I was thinking, kind of creating combination, a kind of partnership between projects, um, combining different NFTs to get something. Uh, the staking service that we're gonna release, and I want to be aware what we're gonna release first. Our goal is to release this tool so other projects can use it. This is gonna be our first priority. After that, we're gonna work on our own staking. Of course, we're gonna have our own staking first, because that's how application will need to function. But we're not gonna have instant reward. We don't wanna. If you hear from the beginning, I was against the token from the beginning. I didn't wanna destroy the project, because look at the. I mean, I just saw Shadow Coder ran to the couple soul. Like, what the heck happened with that project? And I read the comments like token emission and stuff like that destroyed that project. And I know personally a lot of project was destroyed, but there's also good project with a good economics. I don't want to rush, because our full focus was on the development, and you cannot be everywhere. So we definitely need help from the people experiencing that space. If you guys have suggestion how we can create good economics to release the token, I had different ideas, some hybrid idea out there, but feel free to suggest those ideas. Um,
That sounds good.
okay, you have a question, Kai, for you, I think.
No, no, I've got Hangman's just come. Hang Jack, sorry. I'm used to saying Hangman. I like playing Hangman. It's one of my favorite games as a kid. Came in with a question. I know you mentioned Twitter Spaces. What other forms of content creation do you think Moonly can do to gain greater presence on Twitter? That's a very good question. So, as you know, I'm not just going to be doing Spaces. I'm probably going to be writing a few articles as well. Some more articles on Moonly, trying to spread the word around. What you might not have known is that I've actually written a little bit of copy for Moonly already on the websites, which I've seen has gone live, which is pretty cool to see. But as for other forms of content, it's very difficult at this point in time, because I believe at this moment in time, Moonly's Twitter is doing quite well. They're giving you quite a bit of value for free. If you follow the Twitter, or if you don't, I don't know what you're doing here. You should go and follow it right now. They're giving away a lot of information. If you pay a little bit of attention, there's a lot of information that they're giving away in very small, easily digestible chunks. So, in terms of actually creating more content, it might not be a case of creating other forms of content, unless you're talking maybe video. I don't know what you do with video. That'd be something to talk about actually. But It might just be a case of frequency or putting it in front of the right audiences. But I believe at the moment, Twitter Spaces is probably going to be one of the bigger plays that we can make. So I hope that answers your question.
Video is great on YouTube. I remember when I was announced writing announcement, actually when I was announcing through the video, because I I also communicate with you, Kai, through the video many times, and I
Yeah.
definitely have thousands of private videos. That's how I communicate, and it's a really good also that you can come back and look at their hive and see what you were talking 2 years ago, and so on. But I want to say that when I was releasing those videos in announcement, and when we had more kind of active community and engagement, the YouTube was actually pushing this video pretty far. Some videos got thousands of couple thousand of views, uh, because people was rushing out there to see. So Google detect, okay, this video is popular, and push it out. Especially if you put good keywords and you put chapters and description. So yeah, that
Hmm.
require time, of course, but that's we can define this strategy in the future. We're gonna start with Twitter Spaces. We're gonna focus on that, and like Kai said, he will also do some under the hood work. We are preparing something uh, kind of special, so he will also help around that. You're gonna know about this when times come, but for now, Twitter Spaces, and as you can see, voice of the Moonly through the calls like these, sometimes mini announcement or something like that. Blog post,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, definitely. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this because I quite enjoyed it. I didn't expect it to go on for nearly an hour. Quite good. I quite enjoyed the conversation actually.
Times fly
If you've
in the
got
call.
any, I know it really does. It really does. So I'm hopefully we can do a few more of these just through the community before we start doing some Twitter Spaces, or maybe we could just jump into some Twitter Spaces as well, which would be lovely. But if you guys have got any final questions, I'll give you 30 seconds or so because I've got one final question for everyone in the room who's still here. Thank you for taking time, by the way. Tuesday is kind of a depressing day because it's not the middle of the week and it's not the beginning of the week. So thanks for taking some time.
Yeah,
Appreciate all of you coming out.
it's nice to see 13, 15, 16 people being here, actually. I
It
like
is.
it.
It's really nice.
And I
Very
believe
nice.
it will be even more if people had more time actually to know that. But it's good. It's better something than nothing, like I said.
Hmm. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone's got any more questions, so I'm going to ask you all one final question. How important do you think the Moonleaf floor price is right now? Give me some ideas, guys. Give me some ideas. How important do you think it is?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you can take it on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think Moonleaf's floor price is? With 1 being not important at all, 10 being essentially you need liquid right now and you've got to do something with it. Let's see. Oh, quite a few people typing. Whenever we talk about floor price, or whenever a project talks about floor price, it's always subject to so much. There's so many opinions. That's always a good question to ask.
Hi. Mom? Okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple coming in. Godspeed says not important. Hangjack says roughly a 2 out of 10. Five. Doll says a 5. PP's got a different opinion. It's an 8, since most people focus on floor price, and to some extent I agree, but here's something that you need to think about. you've been gifted a little bit of alpha from the main man himself. He shared a little bit of information that it hasn't, I don't think, has been released too much. And that's just one aspect that is coming up. There are so many things coming up. You have no idea what's going to hit you very soon. You've got no idea. I'm quite excited to see what the future holds for it. So the last thing I'll probably say is enjoy the flow floor while you can. It's not going to last for long. No, especially not if I have my way. I'm going to be going for Twitter Spaces quite a bit and reaching out to the right projects. But yeah, enjoy it while you can. This isn't to create FUD. I'm just saying enjoy it while you can.
That's definitely true. I agree also with what double P say. The floor price definitely is an indicator of the strong project. That's no doubt with that. Um, we had good momentum out there. We didn't use it um, because we were focused on more on the development side than on the kind of growth side. Even it was growth was my thing, but definitely either you die or you actually you know try to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that with releasing with these tools will actually provide real value, and it will not be focused only on the traders. It will be focused on the projects and the communities, and I think that is a very big thing. If you think about the Blocksmith Labs, how actually why they're so strong, well, because they were providing value for the communities, right? They had a
Mm-hmm.
very simple tool. Come there, submit the wallet, and you get the role, and that's it. So very simple, but so many communities were sending their users to the Blocksmith platform, and then they had the token. Then they created the tokenomics. So they, because we worked with the Blocksmith Labs, and I know what was the deal. They were requiring 10% of your whitelist spot, and I was negative. Hey, we cannot give you 10%. Moonly was very high project. We even crashed the Magic Kitten at the day of the mint. So that's I think that's what we are doing right now. We are focusing on the communities. That's why we are building those tools. Um, well, someone mentioned this Saber app. That if
Yeah.
you guys remember the secret tool that we were building, that was a Saber like tool back just after the mint. And unfortunately, we needed to pause that. Even it was, I don't know, 85 to 90% done. We needed to pause and actually work on on the things we promised out there, so we can actually put. We probably lost the momentum out there, but it is what it is. There were so many ongoing and moving parts at the same time, so we need to prioritize some things. But definitely we're gonna finish this tool, and it's gonna just complement other tools. Everything will be connected. um, Maybe it's not the right time right now because Kai said it's gonna be short call, but next time I would also like to have this kind of private conversation outside of Twitter Spaces, to share you some real alpha, and to share the vision and diagram to see exactly where the moon is going. And and it's a long journey. I mean, as you can see, the year almost passed. Like, times fly, like it's never stopped. So times go. All we need is time and resources. That's it. So I'm gonna stop now. Thanks, though. Thanks for that. I'm gonna stop now. I had there's so many chat and things to say over here.
There's
To
so much.
Yeah, I'm really glad that people are engaged. Sorry, guys,
Exactly.
if we are not commenting on every, but definitely gonna go through and read. And I believe the Kai will also consume everything you wrote out there, so he will take account. I know the Kai is a great researcher. He proved that to me. So yeah, weekly spaces, monthly
Appreciate
alpha. Yeah, so in the Thursday, we might organize the first Twitter space. Either we just gonna be there hanging out and talk again about some of these details, but I'm gonna try to get some project and so we can ask them question, so they can actually, if you guys have idea of the potential project, also put it in the suggestion in ideas channel. Maybe you see some upcoming project that's seeking for attention or Twitter space. Go there. You are also our arms. You can help us. You can maybe reach those guys out there and ask, hey, do you want to be in a Twitter spaces with Moonly? They can say yes. You can connect us. You can definitely help Kai, help me, help everyone in the team out there, because you're part of the project as well.
Exactly. Community is important.
Yes,
We need your help too. It's not just about us, it's about you too. So I agree. I 100% agree. But
definitely.
if that is all, everybody, a lot of information was dropped today. I hope that you found it useful. And again, thanks for taking the time out of your Tuesday to hang out and have a little chat. Some of you in the chat I can see are still talking right now. So thanks for taking some time out. Maybe next time some of you will come up and have a little chat to me or to Stefan in person. Well, not in person, but you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Hope you learned a little bit more about me. And if you've got any questions, you can at me in the chats or send me a message. As long as I know, don't send me any links though, because I've been burned once before, and I'm not going to click any more links in my Discord ever. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated, and there is a lot to come. A hell of a lot to come.
Thank you, Kai.
And
Thank you, Kai, and thank you guys for joining. It was really casual talk. I have so many things to say. I feel sorry that I think I kind of took your microphone maybe at some point, but it
definitely
was
not.
all right.
I introduced myself, and that was plenty enough for me.
All right. But thank you everyone who came, who was listening, writing the question, typing. Thank you, PP. I'll go to sleep. I'm just gonna have a kind of small dinner and go there. Thank you, Godspeed, as well. Thank you, everyone, once again. Talk to you soon. We'll connect it. I recorded this, but I'm not sure if it's gonna pick up the system audio of you. So I'm gonna check it out. If this is recorded, I'm gonna publish and announce for people who didn't have time to come. So
Sounds good. Lovely.
talk to you guys.
Yep.
Peace as always.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, peace.